Hey, everybody. Welcome to a little bit of a heated can. Happy to be here. I'm Kelly Covato, and I lead the travel business for the Trade Desk, and I'm thrilled to be with my esteemed clients from Marriott's Riott Media, Chris and Monique. And I'm going to pass the mic in just a second and let them introduce themselves, but I thought I'd just kind of set up why are we here today. So, the advertising industry has increasingly become more data-driven, as we all know, and marketers are really starting to rethink how they use high-quality and deterministic signals to really move consumers from inspiration to purchase. And unless you've been living under a rock, we've all seen the rise of retail media the last few years. But now we are seeing a new evolution, which is travel and hospitality media, which Marriott is obviously a part of. But these signals are oftentimes even better than the ones that we can get from retail, where we really understand a consumer's behavior regarding purchase, who they're traveling with, maybe why they're going on a trip. So we're really excited about this evolution at the Trade Desk and thrilled to be working with our partners in Riott Media. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that today. So now I'm going to pass the mic to Chris and Monique to introduce themselves.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Norton. I'm the general manager of Marriott Media, and I also run our marketing capabilities function, which drives the Marriott marketing engine, the Marriott Bonvoy engine as well.
Hello, thanks for having us. I'm Monique Perlmutter. I lead sales and partnerships at Riott Media. So our team is connecting brands with consumers throughout the travel journey. So excited to be here.
So let's start with this evolution that we've been on. Why do you believe travel and hospitality is the next frontier in retail or commerce media?
Well, I think, we're not a retailer, right? So we don't have the sort of same DNA where retail media started. But what we do have is this wealth of data on our customers, a ton of dwell time of our customers within our ecosystem, within our properties, and we know a lot about them that we then can leverage to bring highly relevant messaging to them. And we've brought Riott Media to life in multiple channels. That in-property channel, the captive audience, something similar to CTV, is a very differentiated space that is unique, I think, across the types of retail and commerce media offerings.
And I can build on that and think about Marriott Media, Riott Media specifically. The first party data that we have is really bridging hospitality, commerce, and retail media all together. And so we have data and signals that help us understand where the consumer is at in their journey. Are they in a stage where they're discovering and they're ready for a message about a location? Are they ready to book a flight? Are they ready to buy sunscreen to go to Mexico? Or are they on their trip and they want to learn about a cool attraction? And so those additional signals allow us to make sure we're getting the right messages, and it's a completely incremental opportunity for brands to engage with guests because we know what they are doing, we know where they are going, which is extremely helpful.
So really to build on what you've both said, I mean, the Marriott Bonvoy network is 271 million members deep, which is quite a large audience. There's some other players in the travel media network space today, but why is Marriott or Riott Media data so valuable? I can just tell you myself, I was just at the Edition this weekend in London. I like to stay close to an elevator. I walked in, they immediately gave me my room preference. So I know you know a lot about your customers, and obviously that's valuable to other consumer brands as well. But talk to us about why your data is winning in this marketplace.
I think Marriott Bonvoy, our loyalty platform, decided several years ago to really break the mold around what we thought was more transactional loyalty. And people were staying to redeem points, maximize their point earning with the program, but that's not true loyalty. And so Bonvoy began about 5 years ago really driving for a deeper understanding of our customers, the real reasons they travel, the passions, the people, and the places that they want to go. And a lot of the work that we did in the marketing capability side of my job was to capture that data and make it scalable for our own marketing and our own customer experience endeavors. And it's that very data set that powers the heart of Riott Media. And that's a very differentiated data set to understand why people travel, coupled with when they're traveling. And there are so many moments during the travel planning, inspiration, booking, staying cycle that are so relevant to bring outside brands into that to ease the travel journey. And one of our tenets is really about being additive to the customer journey, to the travel journey. And we curate our advertisers quite a bit to really tie into that relevancy of the traveler.
So why did you extend your audiences really beyond your four walls? Obviously, you sell ads on Marriott.com and in your app, but why make your data available across the open internet?
It's kind of simple from our perspective is as much as we wish that users were making all of their travel decisions within our ecosystem, we know that's not the case. We've got a bunch of research that shows that it takes over 10 touch points to drive brand recall. And that's not just our own research, that's just industry research. And so how do we make sure that we have those moments for brands to connect with travelers during the journey? So it's offsite in a social channel, offsite through all of the placements that are offered from Trade Desk with our partnership, but reaching that same audience across their journey throughout their day so that you're able to drive that unaided brand awareness. And when they're going to make that purchase, they put those dots together. So for us, it was a natural fit to be able to engage with them outside of our four walls.
And I know that a lot of people think about travel data and they think, okay, if someone's bought a hotel room, maybe I could use this to upsell a flight. But I think what we've all seen is that this data has become even more valuable to some categories outside of travel, helping predict perhaps a new car purchase, a new credit card, a new consumer packaged good that somebody might bring on a vacation. Why is that? And talk to us about some of the successes you've had with some of these non-endemic brands, both on-site and off-site.
Yeah, it's a really amazing thing in that if you happen to walk by the JW Marriott, there's a newsstand out there that we're featuring research that we commissioned with United Airlines Connective Media to really dig deep into the different stages of travel and the need states for each of those and the psychology of the travel at each of those. And one of the things this has uncovered, because we were seeing really startling results in performance as we launched and didn't fully understand why until we did this research. And what we've realized is that each of these stages, when you're inspired to travel on offsite, which is where our partnership with the Trade Desk really facilitates, to when you're in that planning and booking stage, there are these unique moments where different advertisers fit different needs. And now that we sort of understand that, we're having a lot of great success. In the 2 weeks prior to travel, 85% of travelers are doing significant amount of purchasing of things. And it runs from the mundane, like I need sunscreen, to I need a whole new wardrobe to come to Cannes and deal with 95-degree heat and humidity. And we're able now to really work with advertisers to understand those unique points. And we run the gamut from in the property itself, being able to really drive that awareness and consideration metrics for advertisers down to in that pre-planning phase and the inspiration phase to driving actually consumption and purchase behavior. So it's really got at different stages, the full funnel, different advertisers. And one of the unique things we're trying to do now is work with advertisers to bring them through each of those phases with a different message, to where it might be more purchase oriented up front, but it may be more awareness oriented when they're there. And so we've worked, of course, with travel endemics. We have a whole local strategy where we're connecting people to the things they can do, the places they can eat when they're in a local hotel. But we're also working with a variety of brands, aspirational brands, luxury brands, auto brands, down to, hey, I have specific needs, like I'm traveling with my family and I need to have formula or other things, and helping people connect with that so they're in an unknown location and trying to understand how to do those things is really a powerful set of need states that our customers have that we're able to tie into different advertisers.
Yeah, And we're reaching across the full funnel there. So to give you a few examples, we ran a campaign with Visa last year. They wanted to drive awareness as the card of purchase for international, the card of choice for international purchases. And through this campaign, which ran on-site and off-site through your channels, we were able to see that over 48% of the purchases made by ad-exposed guests for travel came from ad exposed guests. So I think it was a really exciting campaign to kind of see this come to life. But that was more of an upper funnel campaign. We also have seen on-site sales for beverages that we sell on our property when we're running those ads in the on-property channel. Hey, you're here for a youth sports tournament. We have a sports beverage downstairs. Go get that. We actually saw sales increase by 7.5% during the time of a campaign for that beverage brand. So we know that we can connect the dots and drive these full funnel KPIs.
I think that's really important to talk about, right? The fact that not only are you driving sales for these partners on their own websites and their own commerce channels, but also you're partnering with them on what the in-destination experience can look like at a Marriott property. So I love that example. That's great. Talk to us a little bit about measurement. Chris, obviously this is your wheelhouse, having run marketing at Marriott for many years, but how do you help advertisers understand the impact of Riott data from inspiration all the way down to a purchase?
I think, the first iteration of media networks were in the retail space, and there was a sort of heavy focus on endemic advertisers where you could tie an ad directly to a sale within that media network's retail outlets. We're not a retailer. And while we've already talked about how we've proven that we can drive lower funnel conversion, we knew that creating cutting edge measurement capabilities was going to be a differentiator for us. We had heard from a lot of partners that had worked with other media networks that in many cases, a lot of the measurement can be a little frothy. So we wanted to make sure that we prioritize things like clean room technologies, not only in upfront targeting, but also in getting at incrementality measurements, feeding into MMM models, to pixel tracking, which has been a little trashed on of recently, but we knew that was going to be an important aspect to provide that lower funnel closed loop measurement. So we continue to sort of invest in this capability. We're adding foot traffic measurement, so you can see if we're driving people. One of our advertisers is Simon Malls, which is sort of an upscale mall operator in the United States, and we want to know, like, if shopping's a big thing to do while you're traveling. Are we successfully driving them from the ad exposure in the room into the mall itself? So adding foot traffic monitoring to be able to do that. So we've made measurement maybe our first sales tool in many ways, and that we want to be able to offer the confidence to advertisers that these campaigns perform against these 270 million Bonvoy members that we have.
And I said this to someone earlier, but the media networks that are going to win are the ones that not only bring the first party data, but also the measurement to prove that first party data is driving outcomes. And so I think it's crucial that we're thinking about it and providing the measurement that every partner, every vertical wants to see.
Yeah, and I think it's really wise that you're partnering with the client's measurement tools and some of the platforms as well to be able to demonstrate that in their own systems that they trust as well. So I think we're all gearing up for an interesting back half of 26, and there's lots of conversations here at Cannes about the evolutions that we will all, of course, see. I think in the luxury travel space, there's also a lot of expectation. So how are you preparing your teams for the next 6 months, and what are you anticipating is going to be the biggest shift in how clients are leveraging your data?
I can take this one first. I think for us, one of our core tenets has been personalization across the board. But I think with the luxury segment, that's going to be increasingly important. We need to make sure that every ad experience we're putting in front of a luxury guest is additive. What is it doing? Is it offering them new content that opens their mind to a new opportunity? Is it a new offer, something from a brand? And so for us, personalization is going to be key as we continue to curate the experiences that those luxury travelers with very high standards, want to see. We want to make sure we continue to deliver the Marriott experience that they absolutely love.
I think one of the important things we're launching in the second half of this year, which we just launched a few weeks ago, is our partnership with the Trade Desk,
Woohoo.
where you can now access and self-serve on Marriott audiences. And we wanted to be able to be where our advertisers are operating and use our data to have the reach across the open internet that the Trade Desk offers. So that's a big deal for us. We view it as an important complement to how advertisers will work with us, both through self-serve and through managed service directly with us. And then, the topic everybody talks about, but one we're actually investing heavily in, is around AI capabilities for measurement. And really providing deeper measurement for our advertisers, as well as we care a lot about the content that shows up in our channels. Most of our advertising content on our own channels is intermixed with Marriott Bonvoy content, so we want it to sort of be harmonious with that. And so when you think about having to create customized content, that might be a barrier for some advertisers. So we're investing in AI content capabilities, generative AI capabilities, to be able to work with advertiser content with their partnership to again fit those unique moments of the entire travel journey with harmonious content with ours, but also with those specific messages that feed off of the need states of each of those travel stages, from inspiration to staying in the hotel.
Thank you, Chris. We're very excited about the partnership. We think this is going to be a fantastic back half of the year. And if anybody is interested in learning more about Riott Media and how you can work with them in partnership with the Trade Desk to build your business, we'd love to chat. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.